right there.
Give her a grace period. She needs work.
Yeah, well, everybody's good. This meeting will come to order. This will be noted in the book of the minutes that the required 48-hour notice was mailed to the office of the Times, the Trentonian, and the clerk of the city of Trenton, as well as posted in the main entrance of the authority, 875 New Willow Street, in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gentry. Here. Commissioner Green.
Here.
Commissioner Lopez. Here. Commissioner Raines. Commissioner Staten.
Here.
Commissioner Walker.
Here.
Commissioner Weldon.
Here. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Gentry.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Staten.
Quick comment, Madam Chair. I had requested that future meetings of the commissioners would always have a segment for board education. I haven't seen it yet. But I'll approve this agenda. But I made a request for that. It's not here.
I don't remember that.
I'm sorry, Ms. Staten, what was your request?
Board education,
It'd be like a separate agenda item for board education.
Oh.
separate
Okay.
agenda.
just a little something, talk about just a little something else, a policy, a rule, or anything, but
Something new.
something that, to educate the board.
Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
Commissioner Weldon.
Yes. Can I have approval of the regular meeting minutes held on October 8th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Gentry.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Staten.
Yeah.
Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
Commissioner Weldon.
Yes. At this time, the report from the secretary.
First memorandum that we have is pertaining to our public follow-up. So as in our last board meeting was to present a follow-up from residents giving public comments. So here you'll see that for the Joseph building, we worked with our operations staff to address the banned persons list. We have a banned persons list that was in operations for years now that we're trying to hash out some of the details with our legal counsel. Those collective parties are reviewing house rules and the implementation of restrictions. So from our, house rules and banning persons, it presents complications on the time in which people can return to the property. So there's some steps that we have to address with that, report to our attention by one of our residents. Cameras and alarm issues are being worked on. We're awaiting product for installation for the new cameras and the alarm systems at the rear entry doors. The Trenton Fire Department has been approached, and we will begin doing fire drills and emergency awareness training. And let's say from contractors, we make the staff aware of the importance of making sure that residents are privy to the different construction items that's going on in the building, if there's major shutdowns with our systems. We're working on investigating the installation of commercial laundry machines. Right now, we looked at the products that are being utilized by residents, and they are deemed inefficient at this point in time based off the amount of residents that use the laundry machines. They're breaking down in a very high manner. So we're looking at doing commercial products to make sure that we can address those needs. At the French Towers, it was brought to our attention lighting in a rear building. Security has made sure that they made contact with PSC&G to come out and do replacement and repairs of lights. So that is on schedule with the Public Service Department. We had a resident in particular that brought to our attention that somebody may be entering their unit. And from that assessment, we changed the locks, and management will, monitor any additional complaints that come from that particular residence or additional complaints that come from residents. We also, to address any noise complaints, we're sending out cease notices and, making sure that management is privy and other residents are privy to the adherence of, safe plates, and that noise is something that, we have to work with each other on. It's a community issue. There was an issue with a hole in the floor, through assessments that has been downgraded to cracks and a large indentation in the floor tiling. That we have the product that we use, and we're putting together a list of areas that have been identified for the flooring to get a floor contractor to come out and address them in totality. Also, what's been reoccurring is no smoking. No smoking on the sites. A lot of residents have come to the board and made complaints about there's been an excessive amount of infractions with people smoking on the property. A few years back, say in 2027, no, excuse me, 2017, right, 2017, one of our employees, Ms. Bernardo, God rest her soul, she did a lot of work in reference to the no smoking policy. We had a lot of meetings that were held on site. We had a lot of products that was created to address awareness around no smoking, from a HUD fact sheet to distribution of documentation for house rule changes. We're revisiting that now. We'll have a resolution for adoption presented for our December board meeting. That's Secretary update.
I have one question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry, I can't remember the lady name in the blue shirt. They also, at the Josephson building, they talked about the lighting in the back of the building. So will PSCMG go over to that location also to see about the lighting?
If that was brought to security attention, yes.
No,
So they
she
had
brought it to the attention of us several times.
Well, the numbers for those lights are, there's a listing of numbers. If those numbers, we have those numbers, you have to take away to their attention.
Okay.
So that would be a follow-up item. And I'll make sure that it's on that item.
Okay.
I have a question.
Commissioner Walker?
So, I just thank you for this report. Thank you all for following up on what the residents have come to our meetings and presented to us. I have a question about Josephson, just one. There was a complaint about a leak that was coming all the way down from building 13 or something like that.
It was the 13 line. So what was addressed was the 13 line. There was a leak on, meaning, say 813, 513, and that's it, that particular section. The contractors were out. That's why it was brought to our attention that the residents weren't notified of water being off for an extended period of time. So the contractors came in and they fixed that particular issue. That's why the water was off for an extended period of time.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No question, Madam Chair, but I concur with Commissioner Walker on this thorough report that addresses a lot of the concerns that have come to us on numerous occasions. And I'm glad, and I'm hoping that this will continue forward, and hopefully that this will cut down on the satisfaction of our residents.
Thank you. At this time, we have resolutions.
Right. Good morning, Commissioners, or good afternoon, Commissioners, I should say. Made it through so far here. So we'll start today with Resolution 2533. This resolution authorizes the approval of the 2024 annual audit prepared by Aprio, our independent auditors. It is recommended that the Board of Commissioners approve the resolution for the 2024 annual audit. which we have a unqualified opinion for, meaning that the financial statements were fairly presented in all material respect, and the organization is financially stable going into or as of 2024.
Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 25-33?
So moved. Second.
Any questions?
I have a question, or a comment. On this annual report, it says something in here about, what is it? About inflows and outflows of resources, the OPEB had not been done since June 2023. So I'd just like to see in the next report that it was done for June 2024 and June 2025.
Yeah, that is a measure that's done by the state. So it's not something that's predominantly controlled by the housing authority. It's the OPED, I believe, is the it's related to benefits for individuals.
Post-employment benefits.
Correct. Yeah. So and what happens is the state has to file that and release that information, and for the auditors to review. But because the state hasn't released that information for that period of time, we don't have any say so on what, or any type of I guess weigh in on that. So we are still waiting. It's just something that just is outstanding. It's been outstanding for quite some time. That just about every year, it's just the timing of it that the state doesn't release it in time for the audit as it aligns for our reporting
So you
purposes.
can't follow up with the state with that to make it happen, because it says in here that they couldn't conduct that part of the audit because they did not have that.
Yeah, and that's because the state didn't release it. So it's the state releasing it for all of New Jersey. So it's something that we can't, again, it's something that we don't have any type of bearing on that. We provide the information to them. I don't know, Ms. Fran, do you want to speak on that?
I was just gonna say, the reason that it's difficult for us is because we operate on a calendar year,
Right.
and the state operates July through June.
So it's a timing
So
thing,
it's a timing thing.
but we'll follow up with it and
2024.
we'll weigh in on it. But it didn't materially affect our, you know,
Right.
the opinion of the agency as a whole. But
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Tibbs, you know, I don't remember the recommendations. Jessica, can you give me a copy of from this audit? They made recommendations, correct?
no, there was no recommendations made on this audit. It was a clean audit, as well as no observations. So it was a very good audit for us coming out of, given our current standing, and will help improve our financial scores as we, are going up against, or I guess, to counteract the trouble status that we have going into 2024.
The firm that we've used before?
Yes, we have had reviews or observations in the past, but this one is clean.
No. The firm that did the audit, they're new? Or-
No, they are. I believe they were before my time. They were. This is about the third year since I've been with the organization. They've been doing the audit. So yeah, I think they might be 5 years in.
Longer than that,
Longer
yeah.
than that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Roll call?
Commissioner Gentry? Yes. Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Staton?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Weldon Gordon?
Yes.
Resolution 2534 is for disbursements. This resolution authorizes the approval for disbursements for October in the amount of $1,047,128.12, split between the general fund and the capital fund. It is my recommendation that the Board of Commissioners adopt the resolutions approving the disbursements for the month of, I should say, October.
Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 25-34?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Gentry?
Yes.
Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Staton?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Weldon Gordon?
Yes.
Right. Moving right along. Resolution 2535 and 2536 kind of go hand in hand. This is 2535 is a resolution authorizing the amendment to include the new executive director on the budget for DCA, as well as some minor changes that were processed for, I guess, reallocations between budget items and things along those lines there. So this one here is the amended version which we are approving on 2535, and then 2536 would be to adopt the budget. And this is for 25. This is for the budget for 2025, not 26. This is our old budget. You know, this is already done because we've already approved this. This was approved already in February of 2025. But as a DCA, because the changing happened with Jelani moving on and taking on Mr. Godfrey coming in, they needed to have it amended to include him now before it could be adopted.
So in other words, Jelani's taking off, he's putting on.
Correct.
One moment. Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 35 and 36?
So moved.
Second.
Question.
Questions, Commissioner Walker?
What caused the numbers to change?
The numbers didn't change. They just were reallocation or changing between line items. So the budget stays the same. The line items were exactly. And that was just for purposes of reporting purposes to align with HUD, to making sure that all the accounts were in line as we originally were budgeted for. So just again, the overall number, the budget stayed the same. Ultimately, it was just for repurposing for line items to be in line with HUD, and it was pretty much something that was brought up by audit and things along those lines to make sure that we're in compliance as we continue to move forward.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Gentry?
Yes.
Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Staten?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Weldon Gordon?
Yes.
So, yeah.
It was
Yes.
36 before that
36.
motion, yeah, okay.
36, 35, and 36.
Because they really were paired together.
Yeah, they're tied together. It's just an amendment. You had to amend the budget before we can adopt it, and that was given to us by DCA and how we had to go about that process. So they had to be two separate resolutions. So this brings us to resolution 2537. This resolution authorizes the approval for the Trenton Housing Authority's fiscal year budget for 2026. It is my recommendation that the Board of Commissioners adopt the budget approving the fiscal year budget from January 1, 2026 to December 31st, 2026.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 25-37?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Commissioner Walker?
Any questions?
It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, no questions, just a
I
comment.
went through the budget,
Uh-huh.
right? But I really would love for us, I'm on the finance committee now, so you know.
Okay.
And I need us to block out some time, just have a meeting, so you can
Walk
kind of
through.
define a lot of things that's in this budget.
Absolutely.
Okay, I trust in your expertise, but I would like to know exactly what I'm looking at when I say I approve the budget.
I completely understand that. Completely understand
So we
that.
need to block out some time before the holidays.
Okay, definitely before December, we can do that. And I guess, like you said, this budget was strategically put together in line with the recent events that have happened with the government shutdown and things along those lines, and looking at cost constraints as well as, operations operating effectively and making sure that we have a good basis for this agency to continue to move forward. So I would love the opportunity to sit with the finance team and kind of walk through those line items and give you guys some insight, a better insight into, you know, what goes into, you know, the budget from a, I guess from an overall standpoint, and how that all kind of rolls up to HUD and maps in line with the guidelines from, you know, GAAP, as well as, you know, GAS and general accepted accounting principles for governmental accounting and agencies.
Okay. Are you?
Well, it just brought another question to mind,
Mhm.
and I don't know who's gonna answer it, but, do we have, I mean, with the government being as it is, in our reserves, how many months can we last before we belly up, or before?
So as of right now,
What's our reserve?
in our financial report, I believe we have about two months in coffers, if you will, to be able to last with our reserves if we were not to receive any funding or subsidy for some time. So that is below the general standard, which is 3 months. In years past, we have applied for a shortfall funding, and we're awarded shortfall funding. We do plan to apply for that shortfall funding as well when given that opportunity, when that NOFO does open. But unfortunately, that hasn't come about just yet. But we are trying to plan for that and trying to get ahead of that to address that gap and try to cover that, because the guidelines are at least 3 months. So we want to have try to have up to 3 months of reserves for the agency to continue.
Commissioner Staton?
I want to thank Commissioner Walker bringing up those concerns. I have some similar to that. And I'm especially glad you talked about having a side meeting to go over the budget, because I too have some questions. Now, does this need to be signed before we have this meeting?
Not that it needs to be signed. I don't
Or
believe so.
approved?
I mean,
This
approved.
resolution need to be approved before we meet with you to go over the budget in detail.
I wouldn't say it needs to be approved. I mean, if we want to hold off until we have those discussions, we can actually do that, but that would
That's
be
my
under the
preference.
direction for.
That's my preference. I'd like to
do that.
Yeah, I'd like to see
So-
that.
So what's the date?
You wanna
So you
table
would
it
like
again?
to-
Let's get to that date.
Right, so it'll be a motion.
Are you gonna speak about it?
No, I was just getting that clarified. But yeah, so
So-
a motion to table the resolution 2537 for next board
Next
meeting.
one, yeah, next one, yeah.
Can I have a
Give
second?
me a chance to understand projections and all that.
Can you do it by phone?
Well, actually have a test.
So,
Can I have a
we
can I
need a
have
second.
Motion on the table if there's a second.
and there's no discussion of a motion to table once it's seconded.
I
So,
second.
So,
Well,
resolution,
you want to ask a question?
resolution 2537 is tabled
No,
to the next.
we have to vote.
You have to vote on the table.
Point of order.
Right.
But, you had a question, I don't want to foreclose you from asking a question if it's just a
it's just that,
clarification.
can we vote on it before the next meeting? That's my question.
It has to be voted on in public.
Before December meeting, if I'm not aware. Okay, all right. That was my question.
Commissioner Lopez, you had a question?
If you have a special
No,
meeting, so.
no question.
Okay.
We're now voting to table?
The table, yes, now
Table,
we take a
yes.
roll call on the motion to table.
Table.
Commissioner Gentry,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Staton,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Weldon Gordon.
Yes.
And we'll just have to make sure that's on the agenda for next month.
Mr. Tiggs, I do want to say this to you about the particular follow-up information. I love the pie chart.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great way to illustrate how our expenses and revenues are. I really can relate to this, so I just want to thank you for it. I think it's the first time I've seen you use this particular illustration. Very effective.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will do.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Resolution 2538. Given our blustery weather yesterday, it is now time to look at snow removal. An RFP for snow removal was advertised September 14th. Proposals were due October 7th. 5 RFP packages were requested. 1 was received by the due date. Job 1 Lawn and Landscape submitted a proposal that was both responsive and responsible. Job 1's been used for since 2017-2018 winter season. We are electing, as we did last year, to put job one under a retainer for $50,000 for the month of December. That covers insurance, mobilization of labor, equipment, materials. We were also, they take care of all the parking lots and all the sidewalks, so though if it's extreme, the THA maintenance will also help with sidewalks. We will put job one under retainer for $12,500 per month from January to April. If there is something significant though, it can go up to $50,000 per month. The entire season should not exceed $250,000. So we ask that you approve resolution 2538 so we can put job one under retainer for snow removal for the 25-26 winter season. Thank you.
Can I have a motion to adopt 25-38?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? I have several questions. How do, and I know I talked about this before. So when we have a snowstorm, how is it calculated what gets plowed first?
What gets done first? It depends on the mobilization they have, because they're taking each site, so they would have to either rotate on the storm basis or attack several sites at once. I don't know offhand how many different sites are mobilized for at the same time. They might.
So in other words, you don't know who goes first.
So what we have done in the past, we've gone with our most vulnerable population. So we've done the senior buildings first, and then from there doing streets that streets or parking lots for accessibility to get people out to go to work, stuff like that. Remember, your block is not a part of our responsibility. We do that as courtesy. Yes, ma'am.
So you saying the sidewalks where I live at,
Not the
is
block,
courtesy?
the street.
Plowing the street.
Yes, plowing, that's a plow, that's, we talking about
Right, I'm
shoveling,
not,
that's different.
I'm talking about shoveling, I'm
Yes,
not
ma'am.
talking about plowing, that's a different thing, I understand that. That's fine. Any other questions? Commissioner Green?
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. So last year was a mess. So I just want to ask the question because I do believe that some of the street issues may not be housing authority. Say the streets that we don't own, and if our property is adjacent to the street that we don't own, and say if the city don't plow the snow and the snow gets icy, and people walk on the ice that live in our residence and they slip and fall on that ice, are we responsible?
For the streets we don't, for the sidewalks we don't own, okay. If we were to provide that extended courtesy, it falls under liability. Now, if somebody does go up there, fall by happenstance, they're gonna go after our contractor that we procure and their insurance.
They have insurance that indemnifies the housing authority, so they stepped in the shoes of the housing authority. That's one of the reasons why you want a responsible entity that does that kind of work, because they then have the insurance and everything else that protects the authority.
So is there like a key person that we probably should be in contact with for the city just to ensure, because the residents, they will reach out this winter if the snow looks anything like how it looked last year. It was a lot of ice out there. It was a lot. It was really, really dangerous. It was really bad. And I realized that we don't own the street, but our buildings are adjacent to that street. So could you just probably maybe start that conversation now so it won't be an issue for us in the wintertime?
That's right.
Thank you. That's it.
I'm sorry, I have one more question for you. Slipped my mind. Who is next in line besides job one? I forgot. For the bidding.
Next in line, job one was the only
That
submission.
was the only, okay, that's, okay.
Oh, so nobody else responded to the RFP?
No.
Others got the RFP, but they're the only ones.
5 others
Okay.
picked it up,
Right.
Okay.
but picking up and responding are 2 different things.
Yes,
So they were the only response.
okay.
I know I had a conversation before about us dividing the contract up. And the only reason why I say that is because I have nothing personal against job one, but I think that they're not qualified to do the job. And I would hate for us to hire them again and give them all of this money for poor performance. Now, I don't know if he's having a problem with staffing or what. And the only reason why I feel the way I feel is because there's no way in the world that I have to get up in the morning, shovel my snow to go to work, and come home from work, and it's still not done. And I feel as though we pay a pretty penny to them for a job not done. That's my
Okay.
personal opinion.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe, because we still got some time, that maybe we need to table this and put that bid out again. But that's only my own personal opinion.
I have a question. So over the last few years, how many people have been bidding for this job? Have there been other companies over the last few years?
It's random. Last year we did have another company do it, but they only bid for limited. Year before that, I don't remember. We have had a couple.
We had job one before.
We've had job one
Yeah.
doing it
Oh.
since, we've had them doing it since 2017. We had, previous to that, we had larger companies like Waters and Bugby do it.
Correct.
But during 2015, 2016, they doubled their rates.
I was gonna say, one of the things to note is that some of the bids that came in the last time or that was responsive, they were considerably higher as well. So it was, the numbers were almost double of what we were able to contract job one for. And then there was other ones that came in, as Mr. Martin mentioned, they bid on the partial of the sites. So not for the whole agency, but they wanted to do certain properties, and which, you know, again, when you add that up, it kind of, the cost didn't necessarily, we didn't think that the cost was beneficial when we look at the overall totality for the property. So.
And don't get me wrong, I understand that we have a lot of sites, but if you don't have several people to break that up and have different staff go to different sites.
And I know he's working also, we kind of touted, you know, unfortunately Terrence isn't here, but our maintenance director, to work directly with them to kind of coordinate and better construct, you know, resources as things are kind of like rolled out and things from that standpoint there. So we'll do, I would imagine that that's going to continue to get better over the year as well, but we can try to see what
Well, we've had, on the bid spec, we have said in the previous one or more contractors and possibly splitting up between sites, but we didn't get the responses required to go ahead and split it up like that.
Because I know they also, they do the snow removal for the county also.
Oh, I'm not certain, I'm not sure
I
about that.
can't respond to that one.
No, I know you can't.
Yeah.
But I know what I know, you know. That's not downgrading them, but I'm just saying, we have priorities also.
Right. Well, according to them, I mean, they have the equipment list that's part of it, which is substantial enough to handle the housing authority.
But it's okay to have the equipment, but do you have the staff to use the equipment?
Hopefully, yes, they do. I mean, I can
And
go.
that was a part of the retainer approach.
Right.
That was implemented the last, 2 years ago? We did that approach to make sure that they had the staffing. That's why it was even negotiated in that fashion. And the other entities that did respond, they wanted more upfront because they didn't have the capacity to do something like that. That's why we tried this approach.
At one point, I even contacted a national company to go ahead. That was last year, the year before, to see what they would cost to go ahead and take care of the housing authority, which was significantly higher. You're talking well over $86,000 a month to handle us. That was totally unfeasible.
And again, those fees are, to that point is if we weren't to have any snow or to have snow, like kind of things from that standpoint there. So with this approach, kind of gives us a little bit of a buffer in a sense that if there is an occurrence, then we're still, although we're paying something, we're not paying the full freight of the contract.
And this contract is till April.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think what we will do is, when we have our meeting, and notice to proceed, we will emphasize the importance of better performance in those particular areas, working on those partnerships, making sure that some of these things are addressed.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, Chairman, I have a question.
Commissioner Lopez?
For an agreement like this, I'm assuming there's an SLA, and do we, in that, define what the response time has to be, and if they don't meet that response time, what then is, do we get a discount, or is there some type of something that we can place in that to say we need a specific response time, so if you don't meet it, then this is the quote-unquote consequence, and put that into the contract.
Mr. Lopez, could you explain what SLA is for our audience?
SLA is a service level agreement. It's just defining what both parties are bringing to the contract. And so it's an opportunity to say, give requirements of how much time, how much work, what work, and just details of what is supposed to be done.
Yes.
Thank
we do.
you.
And is there one about response time in that?
I believe we have response time in there. It's about things either the day before the occurrence, because they read a system and it tells you what the expected snowfall will be. From that expected snowfall, that's when second notice falls back on what staff will be able to handle.
There's also pre-treating in the contract as well.
So that happens like a day or two before.
Okay, thank you. And then in regard to your experience, Chairwoman Weldon, I think we maybe have a discrepancy on expectations and definitions of what is a good job, and is that also a definition of, like, maybe not the pre-treatment, but the post-treatment of what is supposed to be considered a complete and detailed job, so that way we can also add that into the SLA?
We can.
I have one question.
Commissioner Green?
Question, do we do an RFP report for this particular RFP, like a scoring report? Or because they was the only one that applied, we just don't? I just wanna know, like, when they applied for the RFP, and they were the only ones that applied, was it a reviewer, did we read it, like?
Evaluation.
We
What's the
definitely
evaluation?
evaluated it. We evaluated and we negotiated with them, again, plead with them to kind of understand exactly what the totality for the job and what it encompasses for them to take on the full agency. So to Mr. Godfrey's point, we can re-emphasize that with them about, the SLA items as well as the levels of performance and things along those lines. I think given our history with them, because this is, I believe, the second, third year.
For the third year.
For that. So we could go back to them and kind of work and I guess infer that, the level of the expectation is kind of been risen, to the level. And, and if they don't respond or if they don't comply, then we'll have to make other arrangements.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gentry,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Staton,
No.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Weldon Gordon.
No.
Didn't pass, right?
Yes.
It did pass?
Okay. At this time, is there any new business? I don't understand, we always forget So is there any new business? Hearing no new business, is there any old business? I have some old business.
I do too.
Miss Christie,
Yes.
can you please come to the podium? I have 2 questions for you, please.
Okay.
Inside of the report, it says there is a market rate superintendent unit.
For the junior one.
Please explain that to me.
That means that unit won't be affordable, so whoever the super would be would have to pay market value for that unit
To live there.
to live there.
Will not be living there for free.
No,
Will he be on duty 24 hours?
I'm not sure about the details yet, but no, I wouldn't assume, but I think he would be on call. It would be the purpose of having him on site.
I definitely would like to see, the write-up about that.
Okay,
Because I think sometimes people have different, opinions on, for superintendent, you know, living on site, being on call, and all of that is gonna be in the job description.
yes, yeah. So we just developing the operating plan and just establishing the units. So it would be 108 units. 1 unit will be a super unit, and the 107 will be 1-bedroom units for seniors only.
Okay. Will this person be an employee of the housing authority?
Or the management entity. So it's going to be a separate management entity. Similar to Turner Point, how it's a separate management entity, that will be the same thing.
Okay. My second question is, what is the delay in the safe route in the MLK Park?
The delay is the city, it's on the city. So part of our early action plan for Choice Neighborhood was to develop a few CCI projects, and one of them was safe walking route to the park, also was to do a complete street. That is all underneath the city's administration to handle that. So we had $200,000 that was supposed to go into that fund of Choice Neighborhood funding. That money is going to be recaptured in August, so we rerouted that money into our homeownership project. So we now decided to do 2 units of homeownership on Bond Street. So we're working with Habitat for Humanities, the city of Trenton, to do 2 modular homes there. And hopefully it'll be completed by August, so that we don't have to return any money.
So we're not gonna have a park?
No, the park is still there.
Still gonna.
Yeah, it's just that it's taken longer, and because this was early action dollars, we didn't want to lose it, so we had to reroute the money to something else. But the city's responsible for it, and it's millions of dollars. It wasn't just the $200 that we were putting into placemaking. So yeah, they're still continuing the process. It's just taking a little longer.
Thank you so much.
I have a question.
For her or something
Yes.
different?
Okay.
Based off of something that you asked. In terms
Commissioner
of,
Lopez?
thank you. In terms of junior one, and maybe having a management entity, like how we have in Turner Point, is there a reason why that's more beneficial than for us maybe hire someone and to do our own management for that building?
So what we're doing is we are going to be a management consultant, similar to what we are for Junior One, but the ownership entity has changed. Same thing, I mean, similar to what we are at Turner Point. So the ownership entity will be changing. So it won't be a Trenton Housing Authority property. It will be whatever, Choice Junior One LLC would be just a formation of the name of the management company. Same thing here, Conifer is the management entity, and we are subcontracted underneath them to do the management, the day-to-day management.
Okay. And so just to clarify, you just used a random name, Junior One LLC.
Well, it's part of the deal, but that may not be the exact entity when we do.
But it would still be an entity outside of us. It's not that
Yes.
we are creating our own business and then calling it that and then consulting to our own.
No, we are part of the management, we're part of the ownership entity as well, but the primarily will be, it's more of PRC and Trenton Housing Authority together, but it's not a Trenton Housing Authority property anymore.
Okay.
It's separate. Same thing with Rush Crossing, but we didn't negotiate the same way with Rush Crossing, so that's all Penrose property. They manage it.
Okay.
We have ownership in the land, in the ground lease. Same thing here, but we will be part of the management entity, and we have a small percentage of ownership.
Okay, so then we'll see more revenue from
Yes, much more.
Yes.
Okay.
As far as in developer speed and cash flow. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Walker, you had a question?
No, I have no question.
Okay.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Now we will have public session.
I think
Oh, hold on one moment.
Questions? You would,
For her or something
not for
different?
this hub.
Okay.
Um,
Is this old business or new business?
I don't know that it's old, I don't know that it's old. I wanted to ask, I had some questions about, Inspire. And, can anybody speak to that other than Mr. Leggett?
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Question.
So my question was, back in September, they sent something about emergency services. And I was wondering if we had an update on what was happening. It was a remediation process for Wilson and Haverstick.
Yes.
And so if you need to wait for him, that's okay. But my other question was, and this actually is something that had me thinking from my trip to Phoenix. Back in September, I had the privilege of attending the NARO conference, and it was very informative. I sent a lot of you guys some of the PowerPoints. One of the things that struck me had to do with fire safety. And so I went to this particular thing, and it was actually kind of nerve-wracking because the guy who was speaking, he talked about fire safety, he talked about having the detectors and all that, and how the sprinklers system, all of that really needed to be key, because in this one town, and it escaped me, I was going to look it up before I got here, but I got jammed up, but it was a horrific fire, and a lot of lives were lost. And the guy was just really bringing home, costs are high, yeah, but he said, don't penny pinch on your fire safety, because you'll feel much better having spent the money investing in your fire protection than spending it on lives lost. And it just kind of, the presentation was like, you were like looking, and you couldn't help but get a little tearful about it, because he was so passionate about it, and it had been a while ago, but it was still so fresh in his mind. So, during lunch with my colleagues, we talked about here, and I asked about fire drills. And no one could remember having one in a very, very, very long time. And none in the recent years, actually. And so,
In 50 years.
no, not 50, just recent years. So I'm curious, I wanted someone to speak to me about fire drills.
Well, remember, in his opening statement, he said that they did notify the fire department, and they was gonna start doing that. And it's the
So-
fire thing.
And so that's good, and so quite naturally, why haven't you had it? That is, it really is a big deal, especially the high rises, because there's so much to consider. The folks who can't come down the stairs, because a lot of folks, like in the Joseph's Home in Abbott, all of them unfortunately aren't on the first and second floor. Folks in wheelchairs are on higher levels, so I don't know how that happened, but whatever. And so they require, I don't know if you have floor captains, and then like a lot of things came to my mind about it, and so, I don't expect them to be answered here today, but it's on my mind, and I really would like to have a special meeting on fire safety.
So, as mentioned earlier, yes, we were working with, I believe it's Captain Douglas.
Yes.
With
Director Douglas.
Director Douglas,
Mhm.
in reference to putting together those programs and revisiting it. Roughly 6 years ago, I believe that was when we last had our series of fire drills and notifications at the senior buildings. So they were going around to the senior buildings, but since then it was a lot of transition and change with the fire department as well. So some of those things may have fallen to the wayside, but that's one of the things that we are getting back on top of, is making sure we have that. Not only from fire drills, but to emergency safety awareness. If there's an active shooter, we have different formats that have been suggested to us from emergency management. And so we'll be looking at that. When it comes to Inspire, right now, trained on Inspire using the tablets and for us to reduce further costs from us having to continue to outsource some of these inspections. We have a maintenance staff that was trained on the actual execution of what Inspire is asking for now, which is heavily resident focused now, is everything on the unit. So we're actually going through an Inspire inspection today. So to address the usage of the funds from an emergency standpoint, we were trying to make sure that we were prepared for today's activities. So they have an inspection that's going on right now.
One last question on this, well, for now, on this. In the apartments where folks aren't mobile or have mobile issues, do we issue stickers for the window or something so folks know that?
We have a sick and frail list, and that sick and frail list is to be placed at the manager's office or in a security area. So when a fire department does come, they're using the trucks to get up, they know where to go.
Okay.
That's one of the things that they'll go over when they are, when they're conducting that whole safety stuff, the safety parameters.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a suggestion, that, Mr. Leggett and yourself and whoever your safety team is, look into getting, stickers for their windows. I know you got a management list, sometimes you can't get to that management list. But if you have something on the windows, because firemen, they know to look for that, because they got them now, you know, for the kids' room and stuff like that. You might consider getting those for the windows and maybe even the doors. And they need to be fluorescent in case it's dark, and so they can have, it can, you know, come on when emergency lights come on for a fire. Just, yeah, I just like to see that tightened up a little bit, and the folks who have really special needs be identified readily by emergency personnel.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I also think that that should be, not just only for people in the wheelchair, but also people who,
Any mobility, yeah, any mobility issues, asthma, whatever, can't get down
asthmatic
steps
should
right.
be
Right,
put in
that's
there.
right.
And I only say that because my grandmother died living in French Towers, because there was 2 fires back to back within a week. I would be truly interested to know, how they planning on evacuating people who are in wheelchairs and stuff like that. So, any other questions?
Not for me, Madam Chair, thank you.
At this time, we have public session. Please, when you come to the podium, state
Mr.
your
Coleman?
name.
Mr. Coleman?
And your address, please, and apartment number.
My name is James Coleman. Live at 237 Oakland Street, apartment 518. I am the president of the resident council. And, you know, I know this might irritate a couple of people, but right now I don't care. So what it is like, we have this smoking policy still, what you said that you're supposed to have on the sites. And even in my resident council meeting, it was like, that's just something that's a formality over what y'all put down, because there's no way that y'all can enforce the smoking policy. And a lot of people come and they feel like, okay, so, and my other question is, with the smoking policy, does that include the marijuana? You know, because people say, we smell a lot of that in the apartments, on the floors and everything. So I just want to know, does that smoking policy include that? You know, and what we're saying, a lot of people send out their money also, and we're getting late notices. Like everybody, certain people pay their rent on time, but they're getting sent late notices. So they want to know if is there a policy or something that can be put in place that would tell them that their rent was paid on time or something like that, instead of getting all the late notices. Because people pay their rent And I know I paid mine on time, and I got tired of sending mine out and coming back with a late notice as being threatened to get put out, you know, and I know I pay my rent. So, you know, I started taking it to the office, but then there was a problem with that, so they stopped that. So I brought it down here to pay it, and one person said, well, we're not going to take, they're not taking any rent today or whatever, but they took mine because I wasn't taking that back with me, you know. So I'm thinking, you know, these are things that we have a problem with, and we need them addressed so that people can stop getting eviction notices for not paying their rent, and they know they pay them. Thank you.
Mr. Coleman, when you get a chance, you'll have a conversation with Mr. Tibbs.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Mr. Coleman, who turned you away when you went with your receipt for your rent? Who said they didn't have time for everybody, but they did take yours because you made a point you wasn't gonna leave?
Yeah.
Can you say who?
But the
No.
person that was supposed to, because I had it at the desk with the guard that's there now, and she was like, they're not. They were only taking certain particular. They weren't taking anything but, like, I guess eviction payments or whatever. So I tried to, you know, that's why I said I would give her, I'd bring it to her, but they said she did take it, so she came out and took my receipt and everything, so that was good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, let's connect.
It was the guard that turned you away? I need to understand.
Sir, she started.
No,
It wasn't the guard.
It wasn't the guard.
It was the person, someone
It
in.
was the person that she called because they said they weren't taking any, you know, any walk-ins. They were taking only people that were considered to be facing eviction or something or whatever.
And being that he was there, they actually accepted him paying his rent there as an alternative.
Who's next on the list?
Point of order, it just seems like there's some guests who maybe didn't sign the sheet yet but want to speak, and I'm getting that feeling, and so I don't know if we can.
Oh, there's a few others, so.
Make that
Did
announcement.
everybody sign the sheet?
Yes, all of us did, yes.
All right, who's next in line?
Ms. White?
Oh, wait a minute.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Darnella White. I'm a resident here. I also manage the food pantry here.
I'm sorry.
Recently, it has been brought to our attention,
Ms. White,
Yes.
excuse me?
your address and
Oh,
appointment.
I'm sorry, 1088 Southern Street. I've been here,
Apartment number.
it's not an apartment, it's a duplex.
Okay.
I've been here about 8 years. I've faced a lot of backlash from people that I thought had our backs. What we do here, we feed people. That's my passion. That's my mission. I do not do drama. I do not like people bringing drama to me when I have not started anything. But they brought a fight to me a couple of years ago. We survived it. Now I'm being attacked again on a down low. They're being condescending. They're sending me messages. They're telling me I'm not privy to have certain things within that pantry. I'm to turn over everything to them. Joffrey, Mr. Joffrey, Clifford, you know me. I work with the residents here. I care deeply for the seniors and the children because they need. Children don't make choices. It's the adults that take care of these children that make choices. Seniors, they paid their dues. I tried to make it easy for them. I started a pantry for them on Tuesday, and I called it Seniors Day Tuesdays, where we took down to the hill to the seniors that were in the high rises. It got too volatile. We had to stop it. We work mostly with females. We have some men that do our lifting, but it's a lot of females. They're educated, they're dedicated, but we're being stabbed in the back, told that we're giving outdated food, which is not true. I feed my family, they feed their family, we feed Whatever we get in that pantry, if it's not safe for me, I'm not giving it to the people. There's never been anyone that has gotten sick or complained about what we're giving, but now they want to start telling it, oh, they're giving outdated food. We go through that food constantly.
Who is that?
I'm not calling names because I sent you an email. You should be getting an email. I want to sit down with you, Miss Christie, Miss Green, Miss Grant, Miss Teska Frisbee, my team, Miss Gordon, Miss Carey, and Miss Banks, and myself. We need to put our cards on the table. How can you come to me or send me a text telling me I got to do X, Y, Z? After all, you do store your food here. That's a threat. You're dangling it. If I don't do what you say to do, I'm out.
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to everybody. I'm looking at you. I'm sorry. No, it's not about you. Don't get it twisted. I'm talking to you because I talk. I don't talk act. I talk to people. You can have a conversation with me. I'm very approachable. Very approachable. If I have a situation, I go to who I'm supposed to go to. It's not enough. It's not enough. Now I got to get crowd control because now they're feeling like they're privileged. We were doing our pantries every second and fourth Fridays for the community. Pantry for THA staff, my team is on an off Friday so that they don't collide because it was causing a lot of confusion. When you see anybody of my team taking food and putting it in their cars, boxes, we're delivering it. It's not going to our house. It's not going for us. We're dealing with the Y. We feed Humboldt and Sweets Avenue. We make rounds. Anybody that calls us and say they need food, they got it. Why dictate to me who I can give food to, amount of food I give it to? You don't know what's going on in somebody else's household. Nobody does. Nobody knows what's going on. You don't know what they're going through. They may work here, have a good job, but if they come to me and say, I need X, Y, and Z, I'm having a repast, we make it happen. We make it happen. We do not turn down anybody. I am not going to start doing it. If you come to Show Pantry, you will be fed. We will get it out to you. If you make a call, Sunday, Saturday, as long as we can get in here and get to the pantry, one of my team members will come here, fix that food, and see that those people get it. We don't know if somebody's fleeing domestic violence, homelessness, mother with children. It does not matter. If they come to say they need food, we get it.
But right now, somebody's putting out misinformation.
Yes, they are. And they're trying, I don't start no rumors. I've been out of commission for almost a year. Those ladies chose to hold down the fort until I get a hold of my health issues. I'm standing here now, I'm shaking because my back, I've had 2 back surgeries. I went from not walking to walking with assistance to walking now with a cane. I am a fighter. And I'm letting you know, I want it on note that I want to survive with this pantry. I want this pantry to stay here, but I do not want to have a thumb on how we dilly out our donated food.
Ms. White,
We do not get federal, we do not get state. My team goes out there and gets that food. We have a delivery, we go through that food. Before anybody gives it out, it's checked. It's checked. I have been advocating for people to get it together for the last 2-3 years. I know what's coming down the pipe. Stock up your shelves. Shelf milk, cereal, oatmeal, whatever that can be sat on the shelf and sustain what's going on. I have been advocating for it. Well, guess what? The chickens have come to roost. Nobody's getting snatched. Guess what? Our line is going to get longer.
yes.
And then tomorrow, he may snatch it again. So what we get and what we do it because we have a passion for it. Because it's the right thing to do to give back to the community. But don't pee on my head and tell me it's raining, because it's not. Don't jump in off the hard work we put in and say, I want to take it over. This is not information that you are privy to. What am I privy to? What am I privy to? Why do I have to be privy to? Feed people. Why are you coming at me? Why? It's not business, it's personal. Leave your personal stuff at home. I tell my team that. If you're not having a good day, stay home. Don't come up in here with that. Everybody has something going on. Everybody. I'm not exempt. I have my struggles, but my struggle is a survivor. I am a survivor. When I tell you I have survived, you would not believe it. I died and came back. Allergic reaction to anesthesia. That was just this year. So when I say I'm a walking miracle, I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to keep striving to do what I do. But meet me and do not lie to me. Do not lie to me. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. But don't go and sugarcoat it and then say, oh, I didn't say that. No. Don't ask me for a meeting with you one-on-one, because I know what you're doing. You're not going to have that he say, she say, your word against my word. You want to have a meeting with me? I'll have a meeting with you. But I want everybody on the carpet so that we will all be on the same page.
And so the person that may be giving out this information is in the list of people you stated?
Excuse me?
Whomever's giving out this misinformation.
I don't know where they're getting it from. I don't know where they're really getting it from. They say it's from the residents. But you got to come out there and see that line on Fridays.
Yeah.
Those residents aren't complaining. Those are my regular that come here faithfully to get food. They know they come for counseling at times. They say, Miss White, I just need a hug. Mama White, I just need to talk to you. We give counseling. We don't just give food. There's a lot of young people looking for answers. They know to come to the seniors, maybe they'll get them. They'll single you out. When they come and want to act a fool, I tell them from 1 to whenever we finish, that's our house back there. You have to follow rules. Every establishment has rules. Everybody has rules. You must follow. They come to me drunk. They want to cut up. They come to me threatening us, want to cover. It's not happening. They don't have to come here. And I let them know that. You can go down the hill and pull it up the hill. You can go to west side, you can go to north side, you can go to south side, but you're right here. You're right here.
Ms. White,
It's
I
a
have
passion.
one question for you.
Sure.
Can you tell me why you included Jessica Frisbee? Is she a part of your
She's
team?
my council person.
Okay,
She's my council person. I reached out to her
okay.
because I didn't know what else to do. I reached out to people won't answer the question. They don't follow through. But if something is wrong, oh, they're all in my face. They're calling me. They're texting me.
Okay, I just needed to know because I believe first in handling business inside first before we take it outside. That's the
No,
only reason why I asked
but
that
no.
question.
And I agree with that at a point. But it was an inside person that told me the first time there was a problem, oh, they came in Friday morning. You got to take everything out of here. I'm saying, what?
Okay.
You got to remove everything. I said, why? Oh, we're going to remodel the gym. That was 5 years ago. Had I listened to him, where would we be?
So you will set up a meeting with Mr. Godfrey?
He's getting an email.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem at all. No. Next in line.
My name is Anise McRae. I'm 77 years old. I'm a new resident at Joseph's Sons. Pardon? Me?
We can't hear.
Oh,
What was your appointment number?
502.
Thank you.
I've been here less than a month now. It'll be a month on the 17th. My complaint is that I spend most of my time in my car and sleeping in my car. I'm a cancer patient, and my apartment is consumed with smoke, chemical smoke odors. And even when I cough, it's black soot in my sputum. My nose has sores in it, and my throat also. I have purchased 2 air purifiers since I've been there, and a humidifier, and I purchased weather stripping and installed it myself. And I'm still not having any relief from the smoke. I'm seeing my oncologist, my ENT doctor, and now a lung doctor, and using an inhaler. I went to the residents' meeting last night for the first time, and I found out that the floor that I lived on is one of the worst floors for smoking. And even last night, the firemen came because my alarm went off in my apartment for CO2 warning, and they had to give me a new stove this morning, and I thanked them for doing that. The only thing they've done is put 1 rubber strip down my entrance door, the front door, but there's gaps all around the door, and my apartment is consumed with that smoke. So they told me last night that there was an available apartment on the 3rd floor, which is much better. So I want to ask for a reasonable accommodation either in the building or outside of that building. And number 2, my second complaint is that it's unchecked bed bug infestation. And on top of that, I don't need bed bugs coming in to my apartment. From my understanding, the gentleman won't let them come in and do anything, which makes us all at risk. He comes in the community room and he's all around in the lobby, he's everywhere, and he lives down the other end of my hallway. On top of what I'm going through now, not being able to breathe in my apartment, I don't need bed bugs in there. At the same time, there's something in the lease that says that you're supposed to allow extermination and inspections, and I don't understand why they allow that to go on like that. And then they portray that it's an assisted living, and they promote wellness. There's no wellness in secondhand smoke, subjecting seniors and visitors. They sit right at the entrance door. There's only one way in. They sit there and they smoke. They got 2 big pots there where they put their butts out. They have benches further back. Why don't they just designate that as a smoking area instead of putting all of us up at risk with allergies and all kinds of conditions, seniors and disabled people? It's not right and it's not fair. And that's all I have to say. I have an appointment with my oncologist and I'm late. I don't know who would be interested, but this is the letter. That's it. Thank you.
Deborah?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Deborah Hutchison. I live at 237 Oakland Street, apartment 910. I have been a resident at Joseph's apartment since 2019. I am also acting vice president of resident council. I come before you today, I'm not sure what's your name.
Staten.
Satan.
Staten.
Okay, I'm sorry. But the reason I'm standing up here is for major reason of what she brought up this morning or this afternoon about a fire plan. Had a meeting with our floor captains about the fire because I spoke to head of security and I told him that I would have this list. Right now in our building, we have 30 residents, which some are in wheelchairs, walkers that can't go down the step. There's no fire plan. Like you said, if we were to have the fire drill, if the firemen had an actual fire, they would not know which people are shut in. Those that can and cannot get out. Even the office does not have a plan, even though we have the list of all the residents in the building. There's not one list in there that would help the firefighters find out who is shut in and who needs help down the step once the elevators are out of commission because of the fire. So I spoke with Crystal, that's the manager, and we wanted to speak with her and find out if it's some kind of plan that we can get some kind of stickers, as you suggested, outside the door. We can't put them on the windows because the windows is inside. So we need something outside the door to let a firefighter know that this person cannot get out. We have a couple of special issues. We have 2 families in the house. In one of these units, the mother caretaker also has an autistic child in there, which they are allowed to stay there per Crystal said. She explained it to us. When even if the caregiver is there caring for their loved one, that resident, that they're allowed to bring their child. That person does not come out the apartment at all. So the firefighters wouldn't even know that these 2 other individuals, along with the residents, is in this unit. We got 2 residents that barricade their door. So it would be difficult for a firefighter to even reach them in case there is a fire. The firefighters wouldn't even know what's on the other side of the door. And the reason why I know, because our floor captains, and I have one of the residents because I'm a floor captain also, when I knock on this person's door, it takes her 15 minutes to unblock the door just to let me know that she's okay. Now, when she goes to the door and she said, I'm fine, she'll close the door and she'll be putting all that stuff back in front of the door. So, as I explained to Crystal, we need to set up some kind of, I don't know what they can do to help those folks that's in this special situation, to make it easier for a firefighter to know that someone needs to be rescued in their unit. The other reason I'm up here is because right now, if you go to our trash pickup, our bins, the 2 trash things are filled to capacities up there. The groundskeepers cleaned it up this morning, but it's filled. Nothing else can go in there. And we were wondering if they can expand trash pickup. We know we can't get another trash thing out there, but can they expand the pickup of the trash, that they come out more frequently? And you know the holidays is coming up. And the lobby has patchwork. Like, they took the railing down, they patched it up. You can see where they patched it up. And it's been like that for 8 months. 8 months. This is what people see when they come in, when loved ones come in to visit us, is this patched up lobby. They haven't painted it yet. In the elevator, the fixtures are coming off. The brand new elevators that they put in, the fixtures are coming off. On the 7th floor, the tile on the east side is pulled up. We got people that's going down this, and the light fixtures need to be fixed. It's dim. We have people in walkers is going down this, and it's easy for them to trip up on this busted up tile. On the 9th floor, as you stated earlier, we had water coming down. Well, the water is dried up and the paint is coming off the wall. We have no fire plans on the floor at all, none. Last night when we had our residents meeting, they complained about smoke on the 5th floor, even though we assured, this is one of the residents that was just up here, we assured her that, yeah, there is no smoking in the building, but yet it still continues to be so. The laundry room smells awful. Once they have 5 machines, once that water go down, it goes down slow. So by the time it's finished and wait overnight, it's got a bad odor. It smells really bad. We have broken scooters in the hallway, which would make it difficult for a firefighter to get through to anybody's apartment, where even if it's not their scooter, they have it in the TV room, they have them in the hallway. Now, management has asked them to remove these broken scooters. No success. They're still in the hallway. The laundry carts that's supposed to come out the machine does not come out. People are not getting back their money that they're losing, trying to get the cards out of there, and also money in the machines. They're not getting back their money at all. Overnight passes. I understand that they had on the table that they wanted to extend overnight passes, and honestly, my personal opinion, from what I see, they're not ready for that. They have people in there abusing these overnight passes. I went in the office and watched a visitor bring down his own pass to stay overnight, and it was approved right in my face. And I brought it to the person's attention. I was like, what are you doing? It was like it was nothing. And a lot of people, as Reverend Cohen said about rent receipts, when they take their money order and let's say they bring it to $875, they was wondering if they can get a receipt saying, okay, Miss Deborah Hutchison was here and she paid her rent on this day. So when these late notices that everybody getting, or eviction notices that they're getting, they can say, well, I have my receipt, and take that downstairs to eliminate all this court costs and dragging them to court over $10, $15, $30 of eviction for whatever reason. And they said that they needed to talk with someone about a lot of, I think it was 12 eviction notices went through our building just the other day, and a lot of them was frivolous. The bed bugs, we have we have 2 residents that I know of have bed bugs. This particular man, we cannot open up the TV area because this particular man comes down and watches the television. He's full with bed bugs. He refuses to let any exterminator in the apartment. He barricades the door so they cannot come in. He brought, social services came to us last week. He infested the whole social services van. They had to shut it down and pull off, and they don't know when they're coming back. They refuse to do something about this man and these bed bugs. When the exterminators came and asked me, do you want us to come in your apartment? I said, no, I'm good. I'm good. You know, I was good. Next thing I know, I got a letter from their lawyers. I need to cease and desist. And I said, only thing I told them I was good. But if you can send me a letter like that for me saying, oh no, I don't need you this month. What are you doing for this man to keep going around infesting? This is the 3rd time our community room was shut down because of him. 3 times. And they refuse. I mean, he comes down there, he'll pluck him off himself. Just pluck him off himself. And this is what we have to go through in the building. And I can understand, she's just moving here. Can you imagine all this coming at you, coming from a place that you don't have to deal with stuff like this, to come into a place where it's nothing being done about it? It's nothing being done about it. We have to talk with someone about it, which one good note that the residents did say we got heat. We got good heat. They love the heat, but the water is lukewarm.
I just have a question. You know the address of this gentleman?
Oh, yeah.
With the bed bug?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait,
512.
I'm sorry, you gonna
continue, please.
So that's basically all the issues that we have at Josephson Building. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else?
Ms. Hammond?
I'm gonna complete the trifecta.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Relette Hammond, Josephson Building, 237 Oakland Street, apartment 705. That's what I was supposed to say, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I got a whole bunch. So I'm gonna just, I'm gonna start with the fun stuff first. I'm not sure, but could someone tell me the Trenton Housing Authority is a nonprofit organization?
It's
Is
not technically a nonprofit, it's an authority.
Okay, I was asking because I've been trying to get extinguishers for the apartments in our building, and I'm having trouble because I'm not a nonprofit. So I guess I'm going to have to work on that. All righty, and I was going to ask you all to partner and help so I don't have to pay it all. Back to the fire situation. Okay. So I want to say thank you for bringing it up because I brought it up the last meeting and I see you piggyback on that, so thank you very much. Fire. I know we're about to have a fire drill because I asked. We had the head of security in our building and Mr. Glover, and he went through the building, checked doors, and of course my question to him was, what are you going to do with the 400-pound lady on my floor when she needs to get downstairs? And he's like, we're going to work on it. He had the fire department with him. We have a fire door that doesn't close, 804. It does not close properly. The fire is right next to 804 on the floor, and it doesn't close, period. That means, you know what it means if that's a fire. She talked about late fees and everything. This is a personal one. I've been in the apartment for 5 years this month. I have yet to get a letter on my from TD Bank about my what do you call that stuff? The money you give when you move in. That's it. Thank you. Thank you all. I'm getting old now. I get the person who lived there before me. I get his every month, every 3-4 months. I get his. His mail comes to me. Bed bugs. So we have, you heard about Mr. Liznak. I affectionately call him the Nazi, and he's refusing anybody to go in. But we have, I must say that there has been an effort to try and get rid of it, except for there are 2 or 3 people in the building now who are resistant. But here's what's happening. They're not getting their apartments clean. And let's say Liznak is in 520, okay? So let's say 420 and 620, okay? He's there in the middle. So since he's not getting anything done, they're getting the bed bugs. All right, they're getting the bed bugs because no matter what they do, it's still in his place, and then they're going through the vents and whatever else, and they're getting into the other people's apartments. So that's what's happening with that. Someone talked about the stench that we have to deal with. So we got stench coming from the trash because as it stands now, it's so full you can't close the lids. And somebody came, a maintenance probably tried to make it decent. They cleaned it up. 2 or 3 minutes later, we had trash all along the side. I took a picture this morning on the way here. Anybody wants to see, I can show you. So the smell, we have sewage smells coming from behind the building, in the back of the building. So that means all those people on the 2nd and 3rd floor, the community room, the laundry room, the kitchen that we work out of as a resident council, we have to smell the sewage. It's sewage. Now, I complained about the dripping water in the front of the building by the community room. It was fixed. So thank you very much. That was fixed. Someone took care of that. The elevator, somebody's pushing the panels. Okay, so the panels, we have like 3 panels, and they're big and square, a little bit bigger than that. They're squarer than that.
somebody's actually literally moving it. So when you come, you see it's off kilter, because they all were like measured properly and everything. Somebody's messing with it, alrighty. And since we have elevator cameras, so whoever's doing it should be seen on the camera doing it, or you should be able to find out who's doing it. The scooters, the security asked the management team to send to these people a notice. They had a certain amount of time to remove these scooters. Alrighty, I kind of saw him on my way in here. He said scooters will be gone within the week. Okay, so that answers that. Visitors. We have visitors in the building who never filled out a form because, and they know when not to come in. There's certain security guards who work, you can't just get by them. Alrighty, but there's some, you distract them and then you take your guests and you swing them into the elevator and go upstairs. So now you know the person's in the building, they're in the building illegally. What are you going to do? Well, my answer was call the police. They're trespassing. Alrighty, but none of them seem to feel that they are entitled or in what's the word I want to use, empowered to do that. If you can't do that, then why are you here? Okay, because the person has no business in the building after midnight. Alrighty, you call to get the person out. They don't answer the phone. They don't answer the door. My feeling, call the police. Then they do musical apartments. So John would go and ask for Mary to visit, but Mary would be in my apartment because maybe I ran out of days. Alrighty, so he or she is not on the floor they're supposed to be on when you're looking for them. So that's one. Scooters. So I know we're going to have a fire drill. Debbie and I, first president for my building, I have been trying to call the fire department to get them to come to my building to teach the residents on how to use an extinguisher. Okay? And I've been trying to see if I can get the foundations from Costco and BJ's and Sam's to provide at least some. Okay? I don't expect them to give me 300 or something, but whatever I can get from whoever, that's what we're going to try and do. So we have things missing in the building, like people are stealing. We had opportunity to have a lady steal our router, the remote control, and the strip from the television in the community room. Okay, she's not supposed to come back in the building. However, I've seen her in the building. I've seen her in the building twice since then. I asked for cameras in the building in various places because things are missing out of the residence council office, which is attached to the pool room in the building, and from our stash in the kitchen in the building. As a result, I've had to take everything and put it into the office, and every day we have to cart it back and forth, okay, because somebody's taking things. I talked about the bed bugs, laundry room, talked about the cards information. So in reference to the cards, Mr. Leggett said there's a form to get a refund. Okay, I was able to get my hands on the form last week. I gave it to the 2 residents who I knew of. The new people, I don't know who they are, but I did announce in the meeting last night that we do have the forms. Any forms that a resident might need to report a neighbor, report a visitor, ask for service, anything, I have copies. They're in my possession, so they don't really have to go to the office, especially after hours. They can just come and I have it available to give to them. Let's see, laundry room forms, bed bugs, stealing in the building. Just give me a few minutes, I'm getting old, I have to check. Here we go. Talked about the sewage, the garbage, we talked about pickup. Non-profit, okay, I'll talk about that too. Whatever I don't remember, I can come by and see Mr. Godfrey. Hi. So other than that, I'm going to ask for the second time, especially since the holidays are coming. Can we get our lobby painted, please? If we can afford it, I think I can get some residents, we can volunteer and we can paint it ourselves. Because now all the visitors are coming in and all of that. Oh yes, security team. In reference to all the other stuff, it would be nice if the security team gets some training as to what they need to do, because they don't seem to know how to respond to certain things. Okay, that person going in the elevator does not live here.
Why did you not stop them? Because we have so many new people in the building, they don't know who's here and who's not. Okay, so that's not their issue. Okay, that's a different issue. The other thing is, if you're gonna park in front of the building and the fire thing and leave it there all night, and security knows, but most of them don't get up from where they're sitting anyway. They sit there all day. They get up, some of them get up to go smoke outside. Okay, they're smoking in front of the doors. All right? Some of them, yeah. Okay, so maybe, I got signs that says don't smoke within 50 feet of the door. They're not gonna pay attention to that. Okay, everybody's gotten very comfortable that this is the smokehouse and let's smoke. I have asthma. Okay, and they have sent me to the emergency room also. All right, so it's like, if you say something, then here's my favorite. Do you guys think you can take your cigarettes across the street? Okay, please don't make me go and report you to the manager. 20 minutes that I walk in, oh, she's gonna report me to the manager. She's just a bee walking around here trying to be important. And they're talking loud enough, I can hear them. I do not engage. Because my thing is that you get paid to serve me, not the other way around. Okay, you're getting paid to service me and the rest of these people in this building. And if it affects anybody in the building, technically it's my job to tell you. Because half of them are afraid to talk to you. They're scared to go into the office to say, oh, Roulette cursed me out this morning. All right, why are you afraid? You do a report, the report is private, it's confidential. You hand it over to Crystal and you leave. And if you have a problem, I'll write it up for you, you sign it, I'll take it into the office for you. Alrighty, so the security is, it's not all of them, it's just most of them. But I think they need to be trained on how to speak to people, how to treat people. If somebody walks in, excuse me, good afternoon, may I help you? I live here. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not familiar. Could you just show me some identification, please? Alrighty, I don't see what's wrong with please, sorry, thank you, never mind, and excuse me. Alrighty, they got an attitude, they come in there with their tude. If you on your monthly, I don't care. Alright, you pushing out your mouth and no. I'm too old for that. I think that's all I have to share with you today, but I make sure I write it up better because my chicken scratches, can't read it completely. Alright, so thank you so much for listening. Thank you for acting on the ones you can. We do appreciate it. We're not gonna see you. Happy Thanksgiving. Computers, oh, excuse me. The computer in my office is not working. I've had 3 people look at it and they're saying that, put them in the computer graveyard. So I've been trying to reach our liaisons, and I was hooked up with Kevin. I believe he's the IT person in the building, who I'm gonna go look for today. But I did email him, and I just think that I'm moving fast enough. Okay, we're trying to make sure that we maximize our monies that graciously let us have, so we can do things. That way I can stop terrorizing poor Crystal in the office. So thank you.
The computer, is it owned by the housing authority?
I'm not sure. I don't think so because it's coming out of the allotted money that we have as a council.
Okay.
But if they want to give me one, I'll take it. Yeah. I just thought I'd throw it out there. Anything else, ma'am?
No, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Marshall.
Good afternoon, my name is Virginia Marshall. I live in Downey and also a resident council.
Apartment number.
Southern Street. That's what I wanted to say. To Commissioner Staton, when you were talking about fire evacuations, when the last fire thing that I know that Donnelly had, because I had lived here and I was on the board, was 2006. Okay. And our evacuation was Father Rocco for the houses. And for the high rise, it was Martin Luther King School. So that's doing the distance between the developments. So I can speak on that. But I agree with you on that. With all the developments, we do need an evacuation plan. I don't even know if our evacuation is that still, because it hasn't been revisited or talked about. So, as far as with the fire department, do we have a new evacuation? Same thing with the high rise, like how to get, there's some elderly people that do live there. How do we get people that was disabled out? What is the standpoint? So all the residents do need to know that going across the board. So I agree with that part. The other issue that I'm gonna bring up my opinion is with the snow removal. Is this the same snow removal company that we were paying when it wasn't no snow? We were still paying them?
Yes.
That's unfortunately part of the arrangement. This year the
That's why
amount's
we
lower per
modified it.
month, generally than it has been in the past, but you have to secure their agreement to be available in the event, and there's a price for that, basically. I mean, am I explaining that correctly?
Okay. I do agree with Commissioner Weldon when she said we probably should split that, because I don't agree with paying somebody that don't do absolutely nothing. That's wasting money.
Well, and we've had this discussion before. I'm not defending the idea that they make it pay, but again, well, two things. First, let me address the first issue. We only got one response to the RFP. So had you had more than one, that might have been a consideration at this point. So that's one issue. The second one, as far as the amount of money, companies are going to have obligations to other places if you don't have some agreement with them, at least be available here. In other words, if you all of a sudden, you have no agreement with anybody, and or have an agreement with somebody and you don't pay them anything, but they're gonna be somewhere else, because they're gonna get money somewhere. We're trying to find the sweet spot. We're not paying them too much to be available, and also make sure that once they are available, that they will come.
Because I remember before you guys got the contractors, the snow removal contract, I remember before it was the housing authority, I guess the maintenance crew, and you were paying them overtime when it snowed, versus having this contract person and you're paying them for no, like they just, to me, I remember, if I'm correct, 2 years straight, we paid this snow removal company a large sum amount of money and it didn't snow.
Yep, that did happen.
And
this amount's smaller this year to make sure that they are going to be available. So there's a slight silver lining.
so why isn't the contract drawn up where we're basically using them or allocating them? We have a contract with them, but using and allocating them versus when snow is on the ground versus not paying them to not do absolutely nothing. Because sometimes when the snow is on the ground or whatever, they, like you said, they're not all the way sufficient.
And that's a separate issue from Toma. Go ahead, sir.
Look at it like the insurance, right? You drive around with car insurance in case your vehicle gets totaled, hit, or something like that. But a lot of times it doesn't happen, so most of the year you drive around paying your insurance. It's like having a lawyer, you pay a retainer. You're making sure that somebody doesn't come and,
No shade.
if somebody doesn't come pick you up off the street, you don't have to call your lawyer, but you have a retainer just in case something happens. Unfortunately, we had to switch over to this model because we don't have enough staff to come on those emergencies, right? When there's snow, especially when it's an abundant amount of snowfall, some people don't show up because they got their own homes to protect, because they got to make sure that they're able to get out. We go into a state of emergencies. When we go into a state of emergency, a lot of people don't live across the street to come and start shoveling the snow. So to accommodate for that emergency and make sure that we can address that emergency, quickly, that's one of the reasons why we did it as well. Unfortunately, it didn't snow those years, right? But it was projected to snow. So we lost out on that. But when it does snow, we put it in so that retainer becomes a reduction off of how much snow actually falls. So we're paying you to make sure that we are a priority. As Ms. Weldon had mentioned, we need to make sure that those priorities are being met and they're doing what is necessary per the service agreement. We have to do that. We understand that in some areas it's falling off. Now we got to tell them to pick it up and they have to do what's expected of them. but we have to make sure that people are available to do it. And by doing that, we have to pay a retainer. If we don't pay a retainer, they're gonna be picking people up from God knows where and saying, hey, can you come do it today? And then we're getting worse service. So to make sure that we get service and somebody's there, especially in our vulnerable population, going to address the senior buildings, we have to make sure that we have people available.
I'm gonna tell you the service is poor anyway, because I have to shovel my own snow
Understood?
and sidewalk and put my own salt down because they don't do it sufficiently. So I'm just letting you know that. But even the fact that I understand everybody's short staffed everywhere, but somebody really needs to look at that contract, and if we're not using them, just say from December, January, and February, it don't snow at all. You guys should be getting some funding back for not using. It shouldn't just stay totally with them, and they're just like, oh, okay, we're gonna just keep on applying.
That's how because we learned from our mistakes, so that's why we had to do the retainer.
So the retainer is a small denomination of what the monthly would have been or could have been if we were operating under different formats. As was disclosed earlier, there's other companies that responded, they were gonna charge us $85,000 a month. Just no matter what, you was gonna get $85,000 a month. We reduced that down to $12,500. That's what we're down now. So we're down to that amount, and we are saving money over time.
Well, maybe you should look into hiring staff members just for the snow to cut down the cost period and to eliminate that situation.
In theory, that sounds good, but just to hire somebody to cut the
Seasonal board is very difficult.
It's just like you're doing with the lawn situation. What I'm saying, it's just like what you're doing with the lawn situation.
What are we doing with the lawn situation?
I'm saying, like you hired a company just to do the lawn from, summer, the beginning of summer to end of summer.
It's the same thing. It's the same company doing the same service from the springtime or to the summertime to the wintertime. It's companies that do that.
Yes.
We're not hiring employees.
Anything else?
No. You just need to reevaluate that. That's all.
All right.
We don't have anybody on the list, but if there's someone who would like to speak, I'm sure they can come up.
Good afternoon. Susan Pickett. Josephson. 806.
You said 1006?
8.
806.
There's no 10th floor there. My issue is this. As of January of every year, the resident councils of all, I guess I don't know about any other buildings other than the senior buildings, is given X amount of dollars according to how many apartments are rented. Why? Why? Is it so hard to spend that money? In the past, we've been able to use it for the office, the resident council office, the computer, the printer, the paper, whatever's needed for the office, if nothing else. Sometimes we want to, want to go like to the museum or whatever, and it depends on what it is that they're doing at the museum. But my point is this. I've been pushing, I've had my hand in let's back for the last 6 months. Am I telling the truth? About you have to find ways. We're going to make sure that we spend some of our money this year, and it doesn't all go back to the housing authority. It is November. How many emails?
About 5.
How many haven't been answered? Many. Okay? And it is not fair. It is not fair. But there was a time when there was somebody else working in that office who we have to report to, ask for these things. It was never a problem.
and none of it was out of order. In other words, it was all eligible, and it was done. I don't understand. I do not understand. Why? Well, I sent you an email, and this one didn't get back to you. Well, I have to see, and too much. It's nonsense. Somebody, somewhere, needs to straighten it out because they're not doing their job. And we're not begging for anything. We're not asking for anything that does not rightfully belong to the resident council. Okay? So I need somebody to deal with that because, you know, December 31st, but it just goes, it disappears. Oh no. I'm telling you, I don't have the date of the first emails that they were back in the summer. Nothing is materialized.
Ms. Pickett, who takes care of resident council?
Who? The president and the rest of us?
No. Who do resident council report to?
Who is that? I think it's Ms. Tanya Grant and Kaya Green.
All right, thank you.
Okay? But it is just not fair. We should have had a computer in there, paper, yes.
I thought we switched over to you guys managing your own accounts. This is a general question. I thought that was.
I'm right here.
Do you know anything about that?
Well, we tried to get an account with the credit union.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
What? Okay.
The monies, that
Yeah, the
$2,000.
They have to open an account first so you can have money in there. What was that?
Oh, well, go ahead.
Oh, I was never told that.
Do you have a tax ID?
I have an EIN number, yes.
Okay, so you can use that to go to the bank.
He's talking about here, account here, right?
No. You have to use that to go to a bank and open up an account under your organization name. It's a non-profit organization name. And then once you have that, you have to go to the housing authority so that they can cut you a check to put in your account.
Okay, but meanwhile, because we don't have that, and
Hold on a minute,
because we don't have that, and the powers to be did not come and say to our president, secretary, whoever, this is what needs to be done. Because you see this lady right here? If you tell her that needs to be done, it'll be done in short order. In very short order. So therefore, I still say incompetence. They did not come to us and say, this is what needs to be done. And I don't know about any of the other resident councils, but I can only speak for this one. It's a travesty. Because everybody's been pushing it off on somebody else. Okay? So now, before December 31st, we need to have papers, pens, pencils, computer, printer, all of that in that office. That's only fair. Because like I said, December 31st is coming. Thank you.
Okay, we'll make sure.
Have a good day.
I'll make sure they look into that.
It's me again, Oakland Street, 705, Roulette Hammond. I communicated with Ms. Green and Ms. Grant, and she put Ms. Green put me in touch with Kevin. Kevin Hearns, I think his last name is. And I sent him the information for the request. She said, send him what you need and he'll get it for you. Okay, and I was supposed to use Staples. Okay, so sometimes I have a little problem. If I can find something cheaper, why should I use Staples? But it seems that that's where the account is for THA. And so I'm using Staples. So I sent him an email. I'm here today. I'm going to try and find him while I'm in the building. Okay. I shouldn't go look for him?
No, ma'am, please don't.
Why?
Just let me know what you need, because he's not your employee, he's my employee. So you don't need to go searching for people.
I was just going to ask him, yo, you got my stuff, what's up?
No, man, you're not going to do that. You saying it right here, I got you.
Okay, Mr. Godfrey. Thank you.
We're going to make sure you get
Okay,
it.
so I've been in touch with him. I was also, when I went to the banks, I was told I had to go to City Hall and get something saying I'm a business, a non-for-profit business or some mess. But anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to say that because...
We're definitely going to follow with you on that, on that structure.
Exactly, yes.
I just have to say one more thing. Thank you, Mr. Godfrey. We have an awesome management team that works with the board. and the residents
Oh,
are getting
don't
stuff.
give me no fluff now.
I just wanted to put that out. I just wanted to put that out.
Ms. McDonald's here, she's working on structuring the staff that will be accommodated to all of the sites. You know, we're really doing our best.
Well, we've been working with Camille and Mr. Reggie,
Yeah.
and they're awesome. They're on it. You know, anything we can tag team, my meeting, their meeting. That's how we doing it.
I got one question. Can we get her team at Josephine? I'm just asking. I'm just trying to put it out there.
We're working on improving staff accountability. We're working on improving.
Can we split?
All right, do anybody have any commissioner comments? Or can we adjourn this meeting?
Oh, no, that's the right one. That's true. That was over 45 minutes ago. I got
Put there with the same.
pretty much. I got
5 minutes.
Maybe 5 minutes each.
Yeah,
Can we
I'll
do
be very
5
brief.
minutes
I'm not
each?
gonna do it editorial, but I gotta have a minute. So first, I just wanna say, thank you for the floor, Madam Chair. To Ms. Coleman, Mr. Coleman, Ms. White, Ms. McCray, Ms. Hutchison, Ms. Hammond, Ms. Marshall, Ms. Pickett. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your comments. Glad to know that some of the things that you brought to us were resolved, so that's a good thing, because the board is certainly trying to see if these things are followed through, and the executive director did a great job on his follow-up report. So there's a couple things. What I want to say, I would encourage all the resident councils to meet jointly if you don't already, because some of you are a little more savvy on things to do, and you can share it with the other boards. You should really meet at least, every 2 months or something, and feed off each other and see how people are getting things resolved. As your employee, Mr. Glover, I would encourage, I'm going to request that he attend these meetings, Mr. Glover, all the time, unless there's like a major emergency, because he needs to hear his force, his group, under his leadership, the security force is ineffective. Rent receipts. I don't know who's responsible for that, but I would like to think that a person in the building can go downstairs to their office and get it handled instead of having to come across town here to get it resolved. I don't want to really get into job titles or job description, but I think everything should be able to be handled at their home base. Everything. No one should be turned away, especially to acknowledge your rent receipt, to avoid an eviction notice. Somebody on that property should be responsible to take that. Residents should not have to come here to have that done. That's just a simple, routine, administrative function, and someone ought to be able to do that. And I'd like to know that that's going to happen. So I will be following up with that. When does Josephson meet? When do you guys meet?
We met yesterday,
Second Tuesday. 6 o'clock. First or second? Second Tuesday at
6 p.m. Community room.
Okay, second Tuesday, 6 p.m. So I had suggested to my colleagues that we adopt, each of us adopt a complex to kind of help, because this blows my mind when I come here and hear all this. So I'm going to just say today, that I am adopting Josephson Home.
All right now.
That's going to be my spot. I'm going to come to your meetings, and I'm going to help you find the resources that you need. Okay? I'll share with you my number and email, so you can call me from time to time.
Wonderful.
Okay? I'm not the ED.
I know. We
Okay,
got you.
I'm not the ED. I'm not management. I'm just a friend. Okay? All
Well, we look at you as a board.
right. Okay.
Time is
And
out.
that's it. Okay. That's all. 5 minutes I had. Thank you.
I just wanted to commend Ms. Hutchinson.
Aye.
Based on all the information you got us on the disabled, the names, the addresses, what the problems were. And I would suggest to you to work with your manager and make sure that together you can compile that list so we can move further with what your demands are. Okay? That's all I have.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes, two comments. The first one has to do with the idea of the smoking policy or even the bed bugs, you know, people not letting people in their rooms. I know that there are the HUD guidelines and there's also the state laws, which in some sense conflict and make it hard to enforce those HUD guidelines. But I think maybe what I'm hearing is a pattern, and this is where, you know, it's more of a question for the lawyer to understand. Once you're affecting someone's health, right, something that maybe New Jersey doesn't allow in terms of evicting for one cause, it's now becoming a second or a new cause, and so unsafe and unsanitary conditions should be, New Jersey should be enforceable for evictions.
It has to be habitable. Our office doesn't do the eviction work, but it's certainly something that should be passed along to the safety of the problem.
And so I'm just thinking, right, how we can use the evidence that we've heard, maybe even the fire inspection. Maybe there's going to be a comment that, oh, there were a door or two barricaded and that's a hazard, which is going to affect everybody's health. Those, I believe, would be grounds for eviction for those who aren't willing to accommodate after we come to them. And so that's my first comment. And then the second one is about committees. I'm just hoping that by next month we can have a resolution to officially appoint people. I know that by the bylaws, we already have the committees created, but in terms of the appointments, the same way we appoint chairs and vice chairs, perhaps it would be great that in our annual meeting, that can be maybe where we do it, since we're already going to be appointing chair and vice chair, but if by next meeting we can at least have appointments for the subcommittees. I know we already volunteered and we know which ones we want, we just have to make it official on paper. Those are my two comments. Thank you.
Commissioner Green?
Okay, I only got 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna try to go fast, because this was a lot, it was a lot of complaints, but Cordelia, she got everything that I really wanted to say. But there's something about like the educational point, so I'm gonna just take this time, because I seen there was a few acronyms being used, and I could see them on people's face, they didn't know what they were. And I'm the type of person, like, I'm gonna ask the questions that nobody don't wanna ask. So when we hear the word NOFO, that means Notice of Funding Opportunity. That's typically like a grant for our residents. Like, that may be a grant that's coming from the feds, and the grant is now our grant, and we have to put a NOFO out so other organizations can apply for that money. So we're basically like managing a grant funding. When you hear RFP, that's a request for proposal. That's typically like a contract. So like maybe in my office, if I have like $300,000 and it's coming directly from Mercer County, I'm going to put an RFP out. So maybe like an organization like Homefront, the YMCA, they'll apply for that funding, and then I'll contract that funding out. But that's so separate from a grant. So a grant, they come with their own consultants. Like, they'll tell me, this is what I want, Tansy, this is what I don't want, versus a contract is like internal house. So it's just important for us to understand what funding we're playing in, because sometimes we don't control the funding. But like with RFP, that's like the snow removal, that's us. But if he's the only person, or that's the only place that applied for the RFP, so that's where we gotta come in as, you know, I always say we gotta be accountable. This is where we gotta be accountable at. So right now, in our community, I'm gonna just be real, we're raising our sons to be basketball players and football players. Reality is, we need to start raising our kids to be contractors, to remove snow. Remember back in the day, we used to pay a little boy $50 to shovel the snow? They don't want to do that no more. So because they have that attitude that they don't want to do that anymore, now we're here in 2025 and we only got one person applying for an RFP for funding, because none of the guys in this community decided to take their money and invest into a snow removal company. So this is why we get in these situations like this, because we can't control, like a RFP has to go out. We can't just say, Christy gonna do it. It has to be fair, because if it's not fair, then we're stepping into a discrimination type of thing. So I just wanted to put that out as an educational piece, because our commissioner always said we gotta try to teach our people. This is where the dilemma comes in at. So like right now, we table the contracting for the snow removal, but do we have another snow removal company?
We approved it.
Oh, we approved it. So this is what I'm saying. Okay, we approved it. So this is what I'm saying. We tabled the budget. So I just want to put out there, like, we can make everything better, but we also have to start raising our youth. So right now, today, when I go talk to my little nephews, I'm gonna be like, why you don't want to start a snow removal company? Why you don't want to do something like this? Because that's where we're at in our community. It's too many, I don't want to do that. Like my dad raised me to believe that somebody always had to be the janitor. If nobody beats the janitor, then who's going to do the work? So right now, it's good to promote entrepreneurship. It's excellent to promote that. But we got to start opening up our eyes a little bit. Like everybody can't be a nurse. Everybody can't be a lawyer. Somebody has to remove the snow. So I just wanted to say that. And then my second thing is, y'all know I gotta just say it. And then my second thing is the food security thing. Like I'm very passionate about food security. I did not realize that I lived in a food desert until I was in grad school. Was sitting in class and Dr. Wilson was talking about all these places that don't have access to food. And then I remember that my mom would either go to Wilson's to get our meat in Pennsylvania over there by Funzilla, or she would go down to Willingboro to the produce junction. And we did everything in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, oh my God, I live in a food desert. Trenton is a food desert. So I dedicated my whole 2 years of grad school to fighting food security and focusing on how we could bring access, availability, and affordability to our city. And I realized it's deeper than anything. I'm gonna be real, I just proved racism when I did my research. I ain't proved nothing else. It was just in Black and brown communities, we lack healthy food. So I wanna definitely help Ms. White with that. Cliff, can you connect her with me? Because I'm thinking that in a food pantry, I don't know if it's true, she left. See, when you a food pantry, everything gotta be right. Everything gotta be right. It may not be that the food expired, but everything just gotta be right. So I just got a few questions to ask her, and I think that we should connect her. Ms. White, can you help me? Can we maybe connect with Mercer Street and Friends?
I do it my church, David A. Cox at Calvary. We have Heart Matters. Every Wednesday, I give out food bags, meats, produce.
So you getting it from you?
Yes, I get it from Josephson Building and Abbott Building.
So can I ask where the food come from?
Heart Matters. We saw my church, they fund my church and they give them bags. He has a pantry on Old Road Street. Or something, Old Road Street.
So this is what I'm gonna say. You need to connect with Mercer Street Friends. Mercer Street Friends, because they're the ones that got that big food bank. And usually everything that come through them, we don't have to worry about nothing. Because they do everything. Again, it's just more so.
Packed up. We get halal meats, we get ground beef, we get fish, we get chicken, we get everything.
And another question, did somebody from Housing Authority say that the food was old or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Her particular program, but at my, no, they don't never say that. Not that I
okay, so that's my time. And I just need to talk to Ms. White. I'm helping her with the food pantry.
Yeah, she gave me her number.
Okay. And that's all I have.
You know, that's a big piece of the battle, understanding where you are and what's going on. We are definitely in a food desert. One of the things that gets me is the gentleman who could sit in the community room and flick bed bugs off of him. My opinion, he needs to go.
Same man. Yeah, I talked about it before. That's what they refuse to do anything. And he doesn't like black folks.
He doesn't like black folks?
He doesn't. He called Rev, we all witnesses of his abuse. We wrote it up, we got put it in the office, and he's still there.
He's going around calling the N-word to people.
Yeah. It's like he invincible, and he knows it.
That is the same gentleman who got on the New Jersey Transit bus and would not allow anybody to sit up front there. That was black.
That was black.
Now, I'm gonna tell you how I know. My niece was driving the bus,
Well,
and she had to go to another.
I look, I have an off comment for that.
Yeah.
On the table, I wanted to say, you need to travel with some nephews or older kids.
They
You know.
protect her, management protects her 100%.
Out of court decision on that.
Management protects him 100%.
That's because they said we're in last chance housing,
Yes.
and if they put him out, he'll be homeless. That's
Yes.
why they haven't put him out there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Maybe he should be homeless, get on the corner with the other ends and see how it works.
The county go challenge.
To me, it just has to be homeless.
They
But-
don't care. I know.
Anyway, my biggest comment was about, I'm glad to know that there's a local entrepreneur that does have a snow removal contract.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's issues that contractors have. I'm telling you, I know that from personal experience. I know the contractor personally. He's a very good guy, a very conscious guy, and he's like any other contractor. Sometimes you have employees that don't do necessarily what they should do. Okay, so it gives the business a bad name. But he's the type of contractor you can talk to him, and he'll do his best to, shore it up. It's kind of hard to hire enough people just in case, because guess what? You got to pay all those people to be there. That just blows the price of that contract up much higher, and it's a good way to also make that business go belly up. If you really understand how all that really works, But at the end of the day, I'm really glad that there is a minority contractor who has that contract. Because for years I sat here and watched a whole lot of money being spent and not much of it in our neighborhood. Personally, I'm glad to see that happen. Okay? The lady who was here that was talking about the food pantry, I don't remember which one it was.
That's right.
Look, if you don't speak from a position of authority, like Obama said, ignore them. Ignore them. People gonna come with comments all the time.
All the time.
All the time, and you just can't address them. The idea that you're there and you're giving out food to people who need it, that's a blessing in itself. Just ignore the difference and keep it moving. And then come back next week, open it up, and be there and say, okay, I'm ready for your negativity, bring it, and just look at them, smile, and say, have a nice day, and ignore them,
Now, give out some meat, you got problems. They give you problems when you give out meat. Otherwise, it's smooth sailing. That's on,
I tell them, quick, help yourself out, don't come here. Don't come here, okay?
Commissioner Staton, you had some.
Wow.
My only thing was someone mentioned something about seasonal workers. This is indeed the prime time for seasonal workers. I believe if you put out something where you just needed folks to come, you had a $60 or $100 day per diem, and put them in places where, you really need it done, where a lot of seniors are, and you really need those streets cleaned up, because sometimes they have appointments in the morning and things like that, priority spots. I'm sure you could. I know for a fact you could get seasonal folks in this climate.
But they would have to be a company because this is federal dollars.
Gotcha.
So you just can't pick anybody
Right.
off the street.
Well, I guess in your talks with Job One.
Don't get me wrong, I have nothing personal against Job One, because when I worked for the College of New Jersey, I worked for the Small Business Development, and I helped people start their business, and Job One was one of them. So, I'm more concerned about the service.
Right.
I understand that we need to have minorities in there, I'm all for that, but I'm not all for giving you the money and you're not doing the job. I don't care what color you are.
I agree with that.
If Job One picked up seasonal workers just for the seasonal piece, can they add that to their contract, or is an amendment to the contract?
I'm pretty sure they have seasonal workers. We would have to get more specific on what that's going on.
But I'm saying, if they increase the number of seasonal workers to be like Commissioner State said, be preemptive, say, okay, snow's coming tomorrow, we'll just give them better coverage. Snow's coming tomorrow, so boom.
But remember, in Ohio, we have no control over that.
Well, you know what, when whoever talks to them, make sure they see the resolution, because they only got approved by an inch. Okay? By an inch, let them know, maybe that'll be an incentive, because we're not just, we used them last year, almost wasn't gonna be this year. For real. They didn't, don't get comfortable, because we're not. We're in November.
At this time, we adjourn the meeting.
Snow tomorrow, and I want my people covered.
Roll call.
She's not.
Yes. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I'm making a motion, yes.
She's second. Roll call. Yes.
Commissioner Gentry?
Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Commissioner
Talk
Green?
about it, we are.
Yes. Lopez? Commissioner Stan?
Yes. I'm sending an email
Commissioner
to
Walker?
Congress and my comments.
Commissioner
Say
Williams?
Yes.
Send it an email with my comments.
I'm not gonna say it.
Why you looking at me like that?
I'm heading for the office.
What you got for us?